Welcome to the Opinion 2.0, episode number 1. We are here finally. My name is Miki. To the right of my table, we got the co-host, and his name is. And there's a rude person outside that's burning out and making donuts. But nevertheless, welcome to the podcast. This is the very first episode. We're extremely excited to be here. It's been a minute, bro. It's been. We've been talking about this for a while, eh? Yeah. Yeah. Yes. I'm panicking as I'm sitting here. You can't see it, but I'm shaking. Yes, bro. I feel strange doing this. And obviously I'm live on TikTok as well as we speak, as we're recording this episode. So for the TikTok viewers, you're getting an exclusive, um, vibes. Before we jump into the topics about today, I just want to plug the merch. So Arctic Monkey, shout out to you. Thank you so much for printing our merchandise for the podcast. If any of you out there of the viewers want any t-shirts customized and 3D printing, have a look at the link in the description and on the screen here it will appear. Arctic Monkey CBT. He does our printing for us. Big shout out to you, Arctic Monkey. And yeah, so I'm gonna just plug our little social medias real quickly. In the bio there'll be a link tree. With all our information. My name is Mikwoza on TikTok. His is my Jacob City on TikTok. In the link in my TikTok bio, there is a link to the link tree, which has our YouTube, Rumble, TikTok, Instagram accounts of the podcast and our separate entity accounts. So yeah, it's everything, all the things, all the links, 100%. And don't forget to turn on the notification bell. Pling vibes. So yes, 100%. No, we can trust our producer and editor for that. We know he'll make it happen. That's like below his pay grade, bro. He's better than that. So yeah, look. Before we get carried away with idle chatter, today's episode will be about how the opinion came to be, who are we as the host, how did we decide to start this podcast, and where it all began. So I'm gonna take you down memory lane for a second. Um, about 6 to 8 months ago, I started a podcast called The Opinion, right? With the sole idea of being rooted in the opinion of myself and my viewers. Being a 23-year-old father of two and a married man, I thought it's important for people to share their opinions on marriage, specifically because I broke the stereotype of my age group and generation about getting married. And I have certain views on certain roles in society that I believe should be out there. However, I also feel that that is what also caused me to go into a tangent. I then started this podcast. I had about 4 episodes. It was completely audio. There was no video. It was on SoundCloud, YouTube, or not YouTube. It was on YouTube Music. It was on Spotify, Anchor. So obviously all the podcast sections like Apple Music and so on. Excuse me. So I did this, and after episode 3, I was virally attacked by the Matrix. I was cancelled. My TikTok account got banned. I lost my main account, which had over 3K followers. My Instagram got shut down. My Twitter got banned. My SoundCloud stuff was taken down. I was removed from Spotify. So, yeah, 100%. The pain. 100%, you know. I actually got cancelled, and then I sat and I thought, what was the reason I got cancelled? Because no one really gave me feedback as to why I got cancelled. I was just being attacked for different things. Exactly, right? And then I sat and I actually thought about it, and I spoke to my wife about it, and I was like, why was I cancelled? And then I realized, re-listening to those 4 episodes that were out there, it was very emotional, and it wasn't objective, right? And I think that triggered people's emotions as well. And like we said in the prelude and the clips that we posted previously, building up to this episode, some people don't like certain things, and that's where I thought about it. Okay, how can I re-image this podcast? I sat down and I literally thought, how can I be better? And then I realized I've been speaking to my friend all this time, every day. We literally speak all the time. Exhibit A. And I thought, wouldn't it be interesting to have a conversation with a friend and not speak to just an audience, but speak to a friend and record it and then engage the audience? Because I also discovered we had similar worldviews on certain things, but we also come from two different times. Like we are, there's a very big age gap between the two of us. We grew up in different generations. I am from Gen Unknown because I'm in between Gen Z and Millennial, and my friend Yaas over here is a Millennial. So that's how we ended up. Yeah, that's how we ended up sitting about it. I mean, I remember speaking to you one day during like work, and I was like, "Hey, join my podcast, man." And you were like, "What?" And I was like, "Join a podcast. Let's start a podcast." And you were like, And I was like, "Bro, we talk every day. We might as well, And we speak about very valuable things." And I thought, "Okay, cool. Let's do that." I spoke to Yas, and that led us to talking about this, and then exactly, and each other, right? With all the equipment, like right in the middle. I feel like the viewers will be Switzerland for this podcast. Okay, right in the middle. Um, I think it's important to know that at the end of the day, this podcast wasn't something we decided to do overnight. It was something that's been a process. It's taken us a while to get to this particular point in itself, right? It's taken a long time to actually get here. I mean, we spoke about this podcast in the latter half of 2022. Yes. Yeah. 100%. Yeah. Yes. 100%. 100%. So yeah, so that leads me to who is Yes. Because people don't know your story. I mean, I gave a little bit of mine, so just add some spice there. I know, man. More like a mad. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Cool. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. How yes. There was more depth to them. The depth, yeah, 100%. Yes. Yes. Almost. Almost. Yeah, it was. Yeah. Yes. 100%. I don't think our wives like that. Apparently. Apparently. Yeah. Apparently we lovers. Apparently. Yeah. 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 I mean, I think that just comes down to the fact that yeah, and it's important, but also like from the perspective of like my wife, she doesn't like me to trust people because she's seen how when trusting people, certain people come in, they infiltrate your inner circle, and they end up causing more harm than good. And I think that's based off like toxicity and energies in itself, right? Yeah, 100%. My feelings, my feelings, pain in my heart. 100%. Yeah, 100%. Yes. Yes. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. 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 100%. Yeah. Yes. Okay. Oh wow. Yeah. Yeah, 100%. I don't tend to speak about them a lot. But this is now a plug and a shout out to the Gen Z podcast. On their podcast, I was on episode 38. And I do speak about my journey and who I am. Because the question that they ask is, who is Miki, right? And who Miki is simply um, a young father of two, married man. I'm 23 years old right now. Back then I was 22. I'm 23 now, and I'm very simple. I'm a very energetic person. I love talking. I have verbal diarrhea. Unfortunately, it works in my favor some days it doesn't. But I do think that what defines me is just everything that defines most people. What keeps you going and keeps you pushing forward is family. Like you said, we family men. I think that's why we click with each other is because we prioritize our solitude, but also our familyhood, right? And I think being a father and being a husband really changed my mindset to the ages uh, of people that I surround myself with. Because most of people my age, and I'm not taking shots at anybody that's also a parent at my age that's like a little bit irresponsible in certain regards. But like I just feel that there's a little lack on people my age actually pulling their weight in regards to parenthood and husbandhood, especially in my generation to a certain extent. I mean, I'm of that people that was married and had kids in a time where the divorce rate is so high because of opinions of differences in opinion, right? And I think the most important part about all of that thing is I use my religion to guide me. For those who don't know, I am a Muslim revert. So that's why I don't like to speak about my tattoos that much because it goes too much depth into who I was. I still picked up lessons of who I was, but it's not something I talk about like straight out of the bag in itself. But all I can say is that every single tattoo that I do have, what you do see and what you don't, has its own meaning and every journey in my life that I've experienced at the age I've been, every part of my life. Because I got these tattoos months after each other, but for every year of my life that was either traumatic or there was like exponential growth. So yeah, look, what defines me as a person? Who am I? I am just a family man. I love my kids. I love my wife, and I just love being around people. I feel like it's important to pour into people. That's where I came up with the idea of having the first podcast, the opinion, because people always tell me I'm very opinionated, right? Um, and I am, but I'm very respectful of everyone's opinions, and I think that's also strongly rooted in why this podcast exists, because the opinion of not only us as hosts matter, but yours at home as well. So to the viewers, what you say is what will push us on the algo, right? So we want to hear from you, and you know, yeah, yes, 100%, yeah, dirty thirties, 100%. Yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing. Yeah. Yes. And yes. Yes. You do you, boo boo. 100%. Sometimes, maybe. For the most part. Yeah. Yes. I appreciate that. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. The journey. Oh yeah. Just wanna drop something in there. If you wanna know more about that journey, GNC Pod episode 38. Everything is there. It's an hour and 20 minutes. That episode. I do most of the talking. That episode's an hour and 20. It could have been an hour. It could have been an hour and 12, but it's an episode about me. I mean, that's what the GNC podcast is all about. Who is the guest and well, predominantly. So, don't worry. Little pro tip, or not pro tip, a little bit of a Easter egg. That's the one. Easter egg. We do have guests lined up. The JNC pod will be of our guests. So shout out to you, JNC pod. This is us giving you a young shout out. And back to what you were saying. Yes, I think from our experiences that we've made so far in our friendship, what drew me to you was the fact that your mindset was very very similar to what I wanted mine to be. So it goes in line with the old saying that everyone says it's cliche, but you are who your friends are, right? My father always used to tell me, show me your friends, I'll tell you who you are. Something to that effect. So I find myself surrounding myself with older people because sometimes I don't vibrate on the same frequency that younger people do. And that's why I always tell people I feel like I'm an old soul. I feel like I should have been born sooner. I always feel that way, right? And I always say like not just having kids, but having kids and being a husband did change my outlook a lot. The moment this ring went on my finger and we heard that first scan of the first baby, the heartbeat for the first time, and again the second time, it was completely revitalizing and fulfilling. Like you said, like there's a lot of crap everywhere. There's doo doo all over the place. There's sleepless nights. Yeah, there's sleepless nights. There's budgetary restraints. There's all these things, but you wouldn't replace that because those kids and that person that you're with, your partner, does give you a sense of achievement, but also willingness to achieve, right? So, 100%. So, yeah, yes, yeah. It's fulfillment, man. Yes. There was a study done on that. There was a study done on that. They say, yes, with women, particularly with women and with older men, right? Because men have this want to extend their lineage, right? And women have this want to nurture. It's an instinctual need. And most people, when they have a child, it activates and they ask themselves, I do this still till this day. I said, how am I capable of this? How do I know how to stop my child from screaming? Or, how do I know how to change a nappy? You know what I mean? Like, how do I know these things and not hurt my kid? Like, how does it, like you don't know. Before that, yeah. Yes. No, 100%. Look, we've covered so much so fast now, and we don't want this episode to be too long because the human brain cannot comprehend too much information. They start losing focus every 10 minutes. So yeah, also I think we're a bit overwhelming. Yeah, 100%. So before we go into the conclusion of this episode, tell us more about you. Like, who is Yaas? Like, what made you you are today? It's a little Easter eggs. Because as the podcast goes along, over the next few episodes, you will learn more about us and about each other. Yeah. A what potato? Oh, like there's so much of the advert, the one that just escapes. Alright, okay, okay. Oh yeah. Me too. Well, not boys. I've two older sisters. Yeah. And the boys do all the heavy lifting. Yeah. No way. Okay. Okay. Topper. Just because. Yeah. 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 Fun times, bro. Fun. Quiero. Oh yeah. Okay. Vibes. Yes. Yes. So you were like the adapter, the connector. You connected two groups of people. You still do that. A mediator. 100%. 100%. To this day. To this day. Oh yeah, same. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I never did that. Yes. Now we are here. Yes, 100%. Our producer slash cameraman is doing the things, communicating silently. That was that. I was like, yo, bro, nah. Shout out to our producer and cameraman. 100%. I was like, nah, okay, cool. So yeah, look, like I said, we don't want this episode to be too long. Episode 2 will be coming very very soon. We will be releasing episodes on a weekly to bi-weekly basis. There is a vlog coming as well, so don't worry about that. You will get to see us outside of this to a certain extent. Quick disclaimer though, during the month of Ramadan, we won't be recording, so there may not be episodes, but there may be vlogs. Okay, I know we just started, so just taste us out, put us on your palate, roll it across your tongue. You'll have an entire month to decide if you want to subscribe or come back and watch the next episode. He said it, not me. So look, I feel like we've spoken about a lot, and I think it's important for people to know our stories. But like I said, we don't want to dive too much in because we also want to make sure that they get to know us over the period of time. This is going to be a long journey. We're not in this for the short run, right? Eventually, one day when we're big, you'll see a different studio. You'll see, so you will be on this journey with us. So because you're on this journey with us, you need to tell us what you think. So if you have any feedback, if you have any suggestions, questions, or you want to come on the show, on the screen will be an email address. You can also reach out to me on Instagram. You can DM me on Instagram. Yeah, do the things. Comment, like, and subscribe. I mean, it's important. Yeah. Yes. Share it to everyone you know. 100%. Look, we will try and keep it as clean as possible. I mean, I'm sure you've seen in the beginning with a disclaimer. It's not a podcast you'd want to play out loud certain times. We try to be as clean as possible, but there will be moments where we will channel. Yeah, we will channel our inner. Um, that's the thing. That's my entire thing. I'm very proud to be a guy who grew up on the Cape Flats. So I do think that it's something I do channel a lot, especially in moments of emotion, whether it be excitement, whether it be anger. That your massa is in my back pocket. It's right there, right? So I think that it's important to know that we are who we are, but we also are nothing without you, right? So tell us what you want to hear about. Send us topics. Next week's episode is going to be extremely interesting. I cannot wait. We're going to be talking about some conspiracy theories. Oh, yeah. That episode by. Yeah, so it's going to be quite interesting. So, like I said, if you want to get in touch with us, be free in your own space to reach out to us. If you want, we can even come to you. You don't have to come to the studio. We can come to you. We mobile 100%. So give us a follow on TikTok, give us a follow on Instagram. We're also on Rumble, like this shit. Look, I think the one thing I do want to say is we do have a Rumble page as well. So we've spoken about this in our clip that's on our TikTok. We do have a Rumble page because Rumble is a platform that allows you to have free speech, and it's harder to be cancelled, and we're obviously trying to protect ourselves because of people that have been cancelled previously, and we don't want that. Yeah, like me. I mean, I was cancelled, and that's why I thought when I started this whole social media setup of this particular podcast, I decided to go on Rumble immediately. So do us a favor, if you're going to subscribe to our YouTube, in the link tree, go to our Rumble as well. We want to get our Rumble up as well because what we intend to do is post stuff on there that is not safe for YouTube, and that could be considered to be cancelable. So I think that it's important for us to know that there will be uncensored content as well. And when I say uncensored, I don't mean with our chests out and with spicy links, to a certain extent. There won't be any sneaky links. But thank you so much for pulling through. We do appreciate you being here with us, and come along on the journey. I zoned out for a second. Sorry, that will happen because we're new to this. Come along on the journey. It's going to be a vibe. And again, thank you so much for pulling through. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and turn on that notification bell. And from myself, me, Miki, and my colleague, Yaas, this was the Opinion 2.0, episode number 1. Thanks for watching. Peace.